ES Audio.
Hi, I'm John Weeks, and this is the Evening Standard's Tech and Science Daily. Coming up, could ChatGPT play a role in the UK government? First, though, countries around the world have made an historic agreement to protect 30% of the world's oceans by 2030, thanks to something called the High Seas Treaty.
It's a marvellous achievement because it's actually covering 42% of the planet, which is a huge area and an area that's often been out of sight, out of mind.
Simon Walmsley is the Chief Marine Advisor at the Worldwide Fund for Nature charity. The protections cover an area called the High Seas, international waters where all countries have a right to fish, ship and do research. It's taken a decade to agree on the treaty, and Simon was at the negotiations.
I personally have been working on this over a decade, and I was sat in the negotiations. I've never seen negotiations like them. I think they went over by a day and a half. So it's hotly contested because it's a legally binding instrument and it needs to be agreed.
Under the treaty, there'll be new limits on fishing, shipping routes, deep-sea mining and other exploration in the protected areas. And Simon said it's the first piece of legislation that joins up all the elements of ocean management.
We're really hoping, again, that this is the mechanism to join all these different mechanisms together and actually protect those migrating species along the whole route of migration. Because if you don't do that, then when they start their migration route and when they finish their migration route, there's a threat along the whole length of that route.
The UK's new Science, Innovation and Technology Minister reckons artificial intelligence, like ChatGPT, could be used by the government. Michelle Donnellan said we need to tap into the use of AI to create jobs in areas we haven't even thought of. She suggested it could be used by teachers or hospitals, or to help reduce the administrative burden on workers in the UK. The minister said the government would have to think about what is the use for ChatGPT before using the tech in the civil service, though. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Rishi Sunak has set out plans to make the UK a science and technology superpower by the end of the decade. More than £360 million is being plunged into the industries to put the UK at the forefront of new technologies, including artificial intelligence and supercomputing. It could be good news for tech firms, as the PM said Brexit freedoms could help the UK set out new pro-innovation regulations. The new plan kicks off with an initial set of projects, including a £250 million investment in AI, quantum technology, and engineering biology. Research has found views on TikTok hashtags hosting eating disorder content are continuing to climb. In December, the Centre for Countering Digital Hate issued a report on a series of hashtags promoting restrictive diets and so-called thinspo content, which would encourage harmful weight loss. Since that study, the CCDH found views on the hashtags it had found that were still on the platform had amassed 1.6 million more views. Its latest analysis of those hashtags also found that since their December report, just 7 had been removed from the platform, and only 3 came with health warnings on the app in the UK. In response, a TikTok spokesperson said their community guidelines are clear that they do not allow the promotion, normalisation or glorification of eating disorders, and TikTok has removed content mentioned in the CCDH report that violates its rules. Now, take a quick journey back in time with us to Roman Britain. As well as laying the foundation for roads in the country, there's new evidence to suggest gladiator fights were once staged here in Britain. That's according to analysis of a vase found in Colchester, which depicts a gladiator-style fight. Tests have revealed that it was locally made and decorated, suggesting the fights did occur in Roman Britain. Frank Hargrave, the head of Colchester and Ipswich museums, said this is the only evidence of such duels in Britain and have led to startling new conclusions. Coming up, fresh rumours about Apple's latest iMac. Why not hit follow and give us a rating during the break? Welcome back. Snapchat has barely removed any underage children from its platform in the UK, according to a report shared with regulator Ofcom. Just 700 suspected underage accounts were removed from Snapchat in the UK between April 2021 and April 2022, According to the data, that's just 0.4% of the 180,000 accounts removed by TikTok over the same period. A Snap spokesperson told Reuters the figures misrepresented the scale of work the company did to keep under 13s off its platform. Spokesperson said every month in the UK, Snapchat blocks and deletes tens of thousands of attempts from underage users to create a Snapchat account. And finally, it's rumoured Apple could launch an iMac later this year, powered by a 3nm version of their own M3 chip. A report by Bloomberg's Mark Gurman suggests new iMacs with the same 24-inch screen as the previous model could ship as early as the second half of this year. The iMac lineup hasn't been refreshed for 2 years and only started coming with Apple's own silicon in 2021. The company's expected to showcase its new M3 chip at its Worldwide Developers Conference in June, where it could also finally reveal its long-rumoured mixed reality headset. You're up to date. Come back at 4 o'clock for the Leader podcast for the latest news and analysis from the Evening Standard. We will be back tomorrow afternoon at 1 o'clock. See you then.